Okay guys, let's do something weird because that's what we do on this channel. Here's the situation. We do have public type of inheritance here, and that's fine, but we also have method overloading situation because these names in different classes are same. So when you create an object based on a secondary class, this thing will work always and this thing will be lost in space. You will lose access to that thing. So let me confirm that and then we will go to solution. And solution is to use object to get into here, object of secondary class. But first let's roll with normal overloading. Like object will be, well, based on secondary class. And now when you see a list of options, you will have two things. But that's actually fake. Yes, I do know that there is one for secondary class and one for primary class, but when you type it here or double click, that thing will always yield just a second, saved by water. Anyway, that thing will always means that we will get this as a result. Okay, so it's like in CSS when you have inline CSS, which is more important than CSS in external file or CSS in head section of page if you are doing web development. But anyway, this is C++, so let's just talk about C++ object-oriented insanity. Right, let me confirm that. There you go, from secondary class. Fine, okay, cool. Well, solution is that we are going to use object as parameter. And that means we need an independent method that will get into here. Well, that method must be constructed outside of classes and of course outside of main section before you use it. So void, and let's call it a caller. And now when you normally create methods or functions, you need to say what data type you're using. But we're not talking about like strings and integers and floats. We're talking about actual objects, and objects can be anything. So in this case, on the left side, you will not type string, you will type primary. So everything what is a name of primary class, you're gonna grab and copy it down there. So this is be like a data type, one of those things. Now that's not enough, because when you have data type, you also need to have something on the right side that will represent parameters from reality. In this case, parameter is just object based on a class. So yeah, that's maybe complicated, but that's how you pass stuff to methods. I mean objects to methods. So okay, why do we need that object? Well, when you say x, that will represent stuff from reality. When you say dot, then there you go. There is that heck, we can have access to print me from primary class, and that's awesome. Okay, so now let's use that thing. And you will not say object here because you will end up in the same situation. No, we are talking about usage of another dedicated independent method. So you will just say caller, and then as parameter you're gonna pass here that object, and now you will have from primary class on a screen as a result. See, this is how you hack your way around. Now question, can you have like a third class that will like hack into primary class? Well, sure, you can have that, like class, and let's actually copy stuff just to save a little bit of time. Okay, so class third one or tertiary one will inherit from secondary one, from public region, and also here we will have same stuff for names, and actual printing will be from third class. So this is in case that you're constructing object and when you pull this stuff. So let's test that. So based on a third class, you want to create object. Okay, fine. And when you say object, normally you'll have now 3 of these, but no matter which one of these you choose, still the result will be this one. So this thing will have priority over these things up here. Let me repeat, it will always happen. This thing will have seniority over those things before. Let me prove that. See, there you go. So what to do in this case? Well, you're gonna say void color for, let's say, third class. And what is actual perimeter? Well, in this case, you're trying to get either in a secondary or primary one. It depends what you do. So let's start rolling with the primary one. So primary, and let's use epsilon to represent that specific object. And now when you say epsilon, now you have access to that print me from primary class, and the thing will totally work. So color, but t in this case, and you will send that object down there. Okay, and now the thing will totally the thing will yield you I am from primary class. Okay, method overloading basically, and we are trying to evade that. So let me prove that. There you go, from primary class. Now if you change the target here, let's say if you say secondary, will that work? Well, yes, it will actually work, and down there you don't need to change anything. You're just changing target here. Okay, so let me run this and we will get into from secondary class. See, there you go. Anyway, if this is a complicated, work just with the primary and secondary classes and drop this third thing completely until you understand this like simpler example. Don't worry, it's easy. It will end up at the end of the day in your brain. It's how this programming nonsense work. Yeah, a lot of similar code, what to do, what to say. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for support and subscription, and see you next tutorial.